Hello, I'm Sheriff Jack Strain. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Badge. Throughout the year, the men and women of the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office serve and protect the residents of our community with pride, honor, and compassion. Our employees have proven to be second to none when it comes to their day-to-day job duties. It is said Christmas is a time for giving, and that's exactly what they do. Christmas 2013 was no exception. Once again, the employees of the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office opened their hearts as well as their wallets to ensure that thousands of people, young and old, would have a very Merry Christmas.
There are a few things that we do every year traditionally around Christmas time. Some of the things we've been doing for decades, and some of them are new traditions we've just started within the last few years. This is the second year that we've had an event at the jail called a Christmas to Remember. And that's an event where inmates who earn the right to participate in the program throughout the course of the year through good behavior and that sort of thing, they are able to have their families come spend the better part of a day with them at the jail. And all the inmates come into a specially designed area that's decorated, and they bring in food and drinks, and the kids are able to come in and spend time with their dads, and they can exchange gifts and just have a real family Christmas time.
Sheriff Strain, Captains J.P. Miller at the jail, Warden Longino, and local pastors from Journey Fellowship and First Baptist Church in Covington got together, formulated a plan. We identified approximately 35 trustees here at the jail that are close to being released, that had family members here in the community, and we got together with volunteers and were able to put this event together.
We want to provide an opportunity for restoration and for a chance for these fathers to reunite with their kids, to rebuild their relationships, to show them how important it is for them to be involved in the lives of their children. So we picked a perfect time for Christmas to reunite the fathers with the kids. Volunteers from both of the churches provided crafts, gifts, entertainment, and other activities for the caregivers and for the children. And each child will receive 3 gifts that were specially wrapped by the fathers on Thursday night, just to add a special touch of love from the fathers to the children. And we wanted to provide them with an opportunity to share this Christmas with their kids and to give back unto them, but to teach them overall that their kids need them, and that when they get out of here, that they have to follow the process of reuniting with their kids, rebuilding relationships, and being involved in the lives of their children.
Our church had a very important part from everything from gathering stockings for the kids and putting stuff in the stockings so that they can just have something nice to open up, to preparing the food for the event for not only the inmates and their children, but also the caregivers, the moms, the ladies that are the moms of the kids, the grandparents, all the people who take care of the kids every day of their lives. So they've been preparing food for both those. We also was able to bring our worship team, our band, one of our bands from our church, to be able to play just a really awesome Christmas set for worship and to be able to bring together people in song. Also, a lot of our folks put together a lot of crafts so the dads can sit down together with their kids and just work on something together and be able to talk and spend time together, and in some cases kind of get to know each other again. But the great thing is when you walk through there, those kids are just excited about seeing their dads.
This is about making a difference for some fathers and their children. It's about connecting and reconnecting, and it's about restoration and restoring. It's about making them whole again. You know, so many people are so broken in so many different ways, and this is an opportunity to mend some bridges. It's an opportunity to be able to share Christ with them and to let them know that when they get out, they don't ever have to return again, that they can have hope, and that they can know that they have a purpose and a plan for their lives, and that there is a destination, and it can be a great change in their lives.
It really is a remarkable program, not only for the inmates that were able to participate this year and spend that time with their families, but it's an incredible incentive for the inmates who did not qualify this year to work hard next year and to be able to participate. Another relatively new tradition is the work that we do with the Department of Children and Family Services. The Sheriff's Office, this is now the second year that we've adopted hundreds of kids throughout the parish. And we collect their wish lists from DCFS. And then our deputies come together. Some deputies do it by themselves, other deputies form little teams, and they come grab wish lists from these kids who they've never met before, probably will never meet. And they go shopping and get the items on the kids' wish list. We collect it all, deliver it over to DCFS, and then they distribute it out to the families, and then the families are able to give the gifts to the kids on Christmas morning.
When I arrived at the homes, the children were so excited. They were like, "Is this for me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they were donated to you. It's for Christmas." And for a lot of them, they would not have gotten a lot of the toys and gifts and clothing that they needed this holiday season if it wasn't for the donations from the Sheriff's Office.
So they were excited.
They were. They were jumping up. Some of them wanted to open the gifts, but I told them you have to wait until Christmas.
This tradition actually started a number of years ago with our Reserve Division. They started providing bicycles to Children and Family Services, and then it grew from there, and now the entire Sheriff's Office participates. It's a phenomenal program. Enough can't be said about what the deputies do for these kids at Christmas time.
Here at the Sheriff's Office, our deputies and their families acknowledge that they're extremely fortunate. They likewise acknowledge that there are many families located here in St. Tammany Parish that are much less fortunate than our deputies. All of our deputies have joined this agency out of a sense of service to the community, and this is highlighted at no greater time in the year than around Christmas time, when our deputies and their families participate in the adoption of the children for Christmas through the OCS gift program. Although our deputies and their families do not get a chance to meet these children, they do get a little snapshot into their lives and how they're brought into the care and custody of the state. Child D is a male, aged 2 years, 7 months. This child is a victim of physical abuse. He was taken into state's custody in January of 2011, where he presented with a subdural hematoma, rib fractures. He was diagnosed with retinal hemorrhages and healing fractures to his ribs. This child had to undergo surgery to remove a portion of his skull due to the severity of the swelling on his brain. He is in a vegetative state, does not speak, and has the brain functioning of an infant. Today, he is in a very good therapeutic foster home.
Well, I had a family that y'all helped with. It was a grandmother that was taking care of 4 of her grandchildren. And she was struggling financially to care for all of them. And so whenever we said that we could help with Christmas, from y'all, she was very excited. And so when I brought the gifts to the family, they were just overwhelmed and just so joyful and thankful that someone cared about them and their family to help them have a Christmas.
Particularly 3 people, the program just wouldn't exist without them. Chief Gerchow is really took this on as her project and makes it happen. And then also Brooke Keene and Gina Kilpatrick, who work in the administrative section. The 3 of them really are the driving force behind this program, and it's just phenomenal what the agency is able to do for these kids at Christmas time.
Male, age 10. He operates on the level of a 3-year-old. It's a long history of abuse and neglect. He's currently on a feeding tube and is nonverbal. He is wheelchair dependent for the rest of his life.
Well, I have so far delivered to 2 families. I actually called one of my families up here to, pick up their gifts, and all they knew was a bike. So when I walked out with all of their gifts, like on a cart, it was very overwhelming for them. They only expected a bike. They didn't have much for the kids. at all. And this was actually a relative placement. So you have relatives caring for their grandchild or their loved ones, and they're already struggling, and then there's another child in the house. So my grandmother was overwhelmed. I mean, she cried. She tried to give me things that I could not take, of course, but just the joy of seeing them is what makes me happy. We look forward to Christmas. We look forward to being blessed by the Sheriff's Department because it does so much for the families that can't, they just really can't afford it. They cannot afford it. If they get one or two things, then they will be happy with that. When you come with this overflow of things, it lights up, they want hugs. I have had one to cry because she just could not believe it. I've only delivered to 2 families, but they have been overjoyed by what you all have done for our agency and for our children.
The other day there was a child that was here for a meeting that they didn't see it as a very good meeting. They were a little nervous about coming to the meeting. And, once they realized that they had the toys that the Sheriff Department had delivered, it kind of like just brightened their day. They forgot about how nervous they was, I guess, and just really got into their toys, and we even allowed them to open one of them. So it really made a difference in that child's life. I know that day.
The only unfortunate thing about the program is that the deputies who spend all the time and effort getting the items for the wish lists and making sure that the kids have what they want for Christmas, they never get to see the joy on the kids' faces when they open those gifts. And I know our deputies would love to see that, but they have to imagine it on Christmas morning.
2 boys, aged 4 and 6, who after a long history of exposure to violence and physical abuse, found a home with foster parents when unexpectedly in April 2013, the foster father passed away, leaving the mother to care for these children. And it's been a struggle financially since then.
I wish I could convey to them just how happy this family was. We have a foster parent who has taken in some children of a neighbor, and she had her hours at work cut, and she didn't know how she was going to get them their Christmas joy. And the agency, with the help of the Sheriff's Department, came in with a lot of toys last night for the 3 children that she has in foster care. She was running around the car screaming and crying, and she brought the children out, and they were crying and laughing. They didn't know what was going on, and then when they found out that they had been blessed with toys by caring individuals, it just made a day for them. I was trying to get out of there and go home because it was late, but it was such a fulfilling moment. I stayed and talked with them. One of the children is disabled. He was dropped off of a bar stool, and even he was crying and laughing, and they were hugging my leg, and they were saying, "Oh, thank you, thank you." And I told them, I said, it's the Sheriff's Department, and it's people unselfish people, who have a lot of work demands, but they take the time to care about individuals like you all. And I told them, I said, and you all need to make sure you're good all the time so that they will understand, that you're good children and you deserve things like this.
One of our older traditions is the Senior Citizens Christmas Luncheon. That's been going on for 25 years now. We just had our 25th luncheon last December, and it was just as successful as it always is. We had about 1,000 senior citizens from around St. Tammany Parish came to the Castine Center. It's a luncheon, but they actually start showing up around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. A couple of years back, we decided to start putting muffins out on the tables because they were getting there around breakfast time for a luncheon event. And so they spend the whole morning with us, and there's music, and there's obviously food. Santa Claus makes an appearance. There's homemade toys that are wooden toys that every senior citizen leaves with that, and a ditty bag with some items in it.
Christmas.
He's making a list and checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry, cry. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Merry Christmas. I know, let me. Merry Christmas, sweetie. You doing good?
Good.
Beautiful as always. Let's get a picture here. All right. Merry Christmas, boy. You doing good? Thought you would be dancing. Oh, you're not feeling good? Oh, goodness. Well, just thank God you're here, and we appreciate it. Thank you for being here, boy. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Hey, girl.
You again for wonderful lunch.
Oh, you're too sweet. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you so
Enjoy, enjoy, all right?
If you walk around and listen to them talk amongst themselves and what they're saying, not only to us but to each other, you can tell that they really, really enjoy this event. And I think it'll be going on for many years to come.
It's impossible for me to express how proud I am of all of the employees of the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office. As Sheriff, I am able to see firsthand how much the men and women of our agency enjoy giving back to their community. Their unselfish acts and kindness speaks volume about the type of people they really are. Well, that's our show. I hope you'll join us again next time. Until then, as always, stay safe.
is committed to upholding the public's trust and protecting life and property within our community. We will utilize sound judgment, reason, and creativity to solve the problems we face, using proactive planning and responsive problem solving. We recognize the badge of our office as a symbol of public faith, and we accept it as a public trust.